Howdy, boys and girls, and welcome to bowl season and the annual Carla and Crappy show, Bowlapalooza. I guess there's a whole bunch of people joining us, but we're going to start, of course, with Carla. Carla, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, this is going to be awesome, as it usually is. And for Bowlapalooza, as we usually do, we have a whole bunch of people joining us. Current sports journalists, former sports journalists, and AJ. I think you and I are just like the demented college football fans. I think that's the role that
I'm not even a journalist.
Yeah, I was a journalist.
You went to school to be a journalist, AJ. That's close enough.
I've been on TV in a college format.
Yes.
Totally counts.
I can verify. I was his producer.
And we're all demented. There's no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have seen AJ Kuftic before. He's in the role of my fellow demented college football fan. You guys also know Braden Gall, the host on the ESPN Radio from Nashville. Works for Athlon and also Sirius XM. Braden, how you doing?
I'm doing well. And podcast on cover 2 that Fox quit and left. So.
And that's a nice transition to former sports writer David Fox. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. I asked you this before, but just it would be tough to watch college football for a whole season and still have sports writer's brain when you didn't have to actually do that this time around.
Yeah, I was a little fidgety for a couple of weeks, but settled into.
Okay.
I'm nodding my head profusely over here.
Don't let him fool you. He was talking about AAC coaching jobs like two days ago.
True story.
That's not
I tweeted about Conference USA coaching this afternoon.
I was just in the interest of openness. I was talking about the FAU job today
who wouldn't be?
In a non-parody way.
This is perfect.
It's fine.
Jake,
We're in a safe space here.
Jake, this is the kind of thing that you're getting into. Joining us for the first time is Jake Rose. Also works for Athlon. He is enjoying a winter spring break in Panama City. Jake, how you doing?
Very well, and in true spring break fashion, my adult beverage is in a red Solo cup. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. We're glad you could join us. Before we jump in with the games, as you guys know from Bowlapalooza, we kind of pick the more inconsequential bowl games, try to look at some of the quirky ones, and we'll get to those in a second. To start with, I would like to hear what everyone thinks real briefly about the playoff. Basically, did the committee get it right? And I'm going to just kind of go down the line here as you guys appear on my screen. AJ, that means we start with you.
Yes, everything's fine. Lose less games than other people, you get in the playoff. It seems like a pretty simple formula. Don't lose to Pitt in September. Sorry, Penn State.
There's that. Braden, what do you think?
Yeah, I guess they got it right. I think Michigan's the 4th best team in college football, though, even though I don't really want to put them in. But I do think Michigan's the number 4 team in America. So I guess they got it right. Whatever.
It's all right. Carla.
Okay, so everybody's heard my opinion for a long time. Yes, I think the committee got it right. And AJ, I don't think it's the loss to Pitt. I've said how many weeks in a row now? 49-10. The committee was not going to overlook 49-10. That's what kept them out of the playoff, not the Pitt loss. And so, based on records, yeah, I think those are the 4 teams. I am surprised that Clemson is number 2, though.
I actually thought that I felt like that would be a logical switch after the championship weekend. David, what do you think?
As far as I know, I think they did okay. I think it's just kind of probably a critical year for the selection committee. They picked a non-champion to be in the playoff again at the expense of 2 conference champions. So probably a lot of momentum for an 8-team playoff from here, which is probably a good thing.
Okay.
It kind of exposed the weaknesses of this 4-team playoff.
There's something else we should do a whole other show about. Jake, what do you think? Did the committee get it right?
I would love to see an 8-team playoff down the road as well, but at the same time, I also can see the argument where you're saying it dilutes the final product. But yeah, overall, I do think that the committee got it right. I agree with Braden. I think Michigan has at least a gripe of not being included in terms of the top 4 best teams overall. But resume, no. But they got it right, yeah.
Not over Ohio State, Crappy, by the way, over Washington. Washington's the team that doesn't belong, not Ohio State.
Okay,
just for the record.
That's a tough one. And Carla, as I said, I think I felt like after the championship weekend that Clemson and Ohio State flipping 2 and 3 is a logical thing. I don't know that it makes any difference other than maybe the color jerseys that we're going to be wearing in that game.
Yeah.
And
I was surprised by how poorly Clemson showed there, because we were watching that game and we were talking about Clemsoning. Here we go. And that's what surprised me. That's what surprised me, is because had they won that game comfortably, then yes, I'm all with you. Clemson should be number 2. The fact that they raised some eyebrows in that game led me to believe that maybe they'd keep Ohio State at 2. But you're right, it's semantic at this point.
Okay.
Clemson's the only team that can beat Alabama, guys. I hate to break it to you, Crappy. Sorry, man.
I don't necessarily disagree. That's how it looks now. I mean, I still would love to have a shot at them, and hopefully we'll get there. But Clemson looks very, very good if the coaches have the players' attention, which isn't always the case, but I think in the playoff they will. That would be a good matchup. We are here for Bowlapalooza, so we're going to start with the bowl games. David selected our first one. This is on December 23rd. A couple of football teams, I think they like get some lawn chairs and line up in someone's backyard. For the Bahamas Bowl, this is Eastern Michigan versus Old Dominion. ODU is favored by 4. David, tell us about this game.
Well, I like in a year when Texas and Notre Dame and Oregon aren't playing in bowl games, we get Eastern Michigan and Old Dominion, who have one bowl game between the two of them, and it happened in 1987. The year prior, they were in the California Bowl, but before it was the California Raisin Bowl. But the Bahamas, I have another reason for picking the Bahamas Bowl. This is usually a pretty bonkers bowl with classics like Western Kentucky, Central Michigan, I believe. The last couple of years, it's only been around for 2 years, but it's been a bowl game that's been pretty wild. I don't know if either one of these teams are good enough to have that kind of 49-41 kind of game, but there's solid squads and 2 teams that'll be excited to be there.
I mean, if we're talking about a game that would have been really fun in the Bahamas, it would be the game following that at 4:30, which is the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl with Louisiana Tech and Navy. Put that in the Bahamas, and I'm here for it. I might go to the Bahamas for that game. That game points all over it. Biscuits for everybody.
Might be the only person that would actually go to that game, because the last couple of years, nobody is there. Nobody's there.
Listen, the MAC took a great opportunity.
Yeah.
They said, hey, you know what? It's cold where we live. It's warm down there. Let's have a bowl game there. Good job, Mac.
And the MAC used to send the champion, the conference champion, to a bowl game in Detroit. So, go figure that one out.
Hey, you're going to either Nassau or Detroit. I'm taking Nassau and all of Atlantis.
David, do you have a
closer
pick
than
for
you
this one?
think, by the way.
Yeah. David, do you have a pick for this one?
Not really. I don't know much about either team. I think I'm going to go with Old Dominion. They were the hot team coming down the stretch. Eastern Michigan, good story. But hey, why not Old Dominion?
Braden, you seem to disagree.
No, of course not. No, how do you pick against Chris Creighton? Come on, he's like one of the coaches of the year right now in the MAC.
That's absolutely true. Yes.
Also, I think it's like I can't tell if it's super hipster or super nerd to love small schools. I'm a big school snob, and I'm with Jake. No one's gonna go, but Nassau is great. And it's way better than Detroit. So I'll go Chris Creighton, man. I think he's had a good year. I think Eastern Michigan's sneaky decent team, actually, which I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth. So
all 3 directional Michigans are in bowl games this year,
That's true.
That's
just bonkers, Fox. That's totally bonkers.
Big week, big year for the state of Michigan. AJ, do you have a pick for this one?
I'm taking Eastern Michigan. This is the feel-good story of the year, regardless of what Pixar puts out. I'm sorry, but Eastern Michigan wins. There's no gray field here. It's nothing but green skies and blue fields.
Okay. Jake, how about you?
Going Eastern Michigan. Can't go wrong with the directional schools. I'm an old MAC guy myself, so why not? Go Chris Creighton.
Nice. Carla.
I don't know. I like Old Dominion, and here's why. Because it's their first bowl game ever. They're playing with motivation, and their losses are actually decent. Their losses are to Appy State, NC State, and Western Kentucky. That's a pretty decent resume. So, what the heck? Go Monarchs.
Not bad. I wasn't even aware that Old Dominion played football. I'm sticking with the Cinderella story that is Eastern Michigan, and of course my own Mid-American Conference loyalties, which we will get to right now because I come up next on the list in what I hope will be the first of 2 bowl games between teams from Ohio and Alabama this bowl season. I am picking the Dollar General Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. This is between my Ohio University Bobcats and the Troy Trojans. Troy is favored by 4. The stuff, the thing that's going on here, and, if you're a fan of watching college football, like on Tuesday and Wednesday evenings during the season, you're aware that this is a Fun Belt versus MACtion kind of game. Troy finished 3rd in the Sun Belt. OU is the MAC East champions, and actually kind of gave Western Michigan a tough run during the MAC title game. Defensively, both teams are kind of pretty evenly matched. They're giving about 22 a game. That was a big deal for OU because OU's offense has been really inconsistent. So they rode the defense a lot. There was a hideous, like a 9-3 win over Akron in the last regular season game where OU clinched the divisional title. The bigger deal is offensively. Troy averages about 10 more points a game than OU does. So that's a thing that you have to think about when you get into this. Both teams had a respectable showing against a power school, Troy at Clemson and OU at Tennessee. Both teams have mystery losses on their records. Troy got crushed by Arkansas State. OU lost to Texas State and the aforementioned Eastern Michigan. And this is kind of a cool thing. The last time Troy appeared in a bowl game, it was 2010 when they beat OU 48-21 in the New Orleans Bowl. I would really like to pick my Bobcats, my alma mater, in this game. But it could happen if OU's defense plays really well. But this just feels, de facto home game, all that stuff. This feels like a win for the Trojans. AJ, what do you think?
I'm guessing that was to me. It cut out. I will take Troy as well. Fun Belt over MACtion. I'm sorry. It's the Dollar General Bowl in Mobile. There is no more Alabama bowl than this.
The Uncle Mickey's Pawn Shop Bowl.
There's the only way you're getting out of this is if you're getting some expired. The only way that you win is if the winner of the game gets a bag of expired candy. That's it. There's no more Alabama game.
What kind of candy?
What?
It's really hard Laffy Taffies.
Necco wafers.
Circus peanuts.
Oh yeah, that's a winner.
Yeah,
That's
we're
a
getting
winner.
worse. This is bad.
Braden, what do you think about this one?
I literally don't know anything more about this game than you just said.
Okay.
I think Frank Solich knows less about this game than you know about this game. To be honest with you, so no, the one thing I was going to say, and I think that is relevant here, is Troy took a legitimate Clemson team to the wire and kind of had them beat on a weird call at the goal line. And
yes,
so it's Troy. I think is the better team. Sorry, man, but I think Troy's the better team, and I literally don't know anything more than all of the things that you said. You said all of it.
All right, David, what do you think?
I think Troy's going to be an interesting team, if only because of their coach in the next year. We've seen Tom Herman, Willie Taggart, last year Justin Fuente, all these kind of young coaches come up. I think Neil Brown's probably the next guy, the coach at Troy. He's on the Mike Leach coaching tree, can coach some offense. So, I think he's probably the next. He's going to show up on everybody's coaches to watch list next year.
Okay.
So I think that's if you're a college football nerd, that's probably what you're watching in this game.
Okay. Frank Solich not showing up on anybody's college coaches to watch list. You don't think?
At traffic lights only.
Jake, what do you think about this one?
I'm with Braden as well. I know nothing about either one of these teams. I actually forgot that Troy had a football team there for
Right.
a little while. But to be fair, and in Neil Brown's honor, I think he's the youngest coach in FCS. And since I am the youngest person in this podcast, we're going Troy.
Okay, that sounds good. Next up, Carla, this is your game on December 26th. I want this to be a bowling reference. I don't know what Quick Lane Bowling Bowl is, but this is the game. This is the Detroit Bowl game that used to be where the MAC championship was exiled. This year, Maryland and Boston College, you get to make that trip. Maryland is currently favored by 2. Carla, why on earth did you pick this game?
Because nothing says quick lane like Maryland and Boston College. Am I right? I mean, come on.
Still the point.
These are 2 offenses that are absolutely abysmal. And the fact that they got sent to Detroit to play in a game called Quick Lane, I love you, football gods. Thank you for doing it for us.
I feel like this game's going to end like 55-52 for no reason.
Just because of that? Yeah. Well, both teams are averaging like less than 25 points per game on the season. Maryland lost 6 of 7, and they were kind of the laughingstock of the Big Ten there. And if you look at their 6 wins that they got to make them bowl eligible, here's a roster for you, right? They beat Howard, FIU, UCF, Purdue, Rutgers, and then a random win against Michigan State. That's how they got the 6 wins.
That's in a year where Michigan State was not good.
Not good, right.
Right.
But they beat Michigan State at the time that we didn't know that yet. Like, we thought Michigan State was bad, but we didn't know that. And then they lost to Maryland, and everyone went, oh, geez, Michigan State, not that good. And then they proved us right, except for the fact they almost beat Penn.
Was the Michigan State game right after Michigan State beat Notre Dame, and everybody thought
Yes.
Michigan State was going to be good?
It was
and then
early. Yeah, it was
They
early.
got
Yeah,
the
it
Notre
was
Dame
very
stink
early.
on
And
them.
then Michigan State lost to Indiana, and then we really knew something was wrong.
And then they all beat Rutgers by 49 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a Maryland team that is limping into a bowl game. This is the we're just happy to be here bowl, right? And Boston College isn't that much better. I mean, their wins are over UMass, Wagner, Buffalo, NC State. That's a decent win. UConn and Wake, and they had the edge past Wake. Maryland runs the ball. Boston College has the number 7 rush defense in the country. Boston College has no offense. In fact, they're last in total offense and in total scoring in the ACC. So I say first team to 12 wins.
Yes.
And because I'm a Big Ten girl, go Terrapins.
Sounds good. AJ, what do you think?
Boston College, I think defense is going to win this game, potentially 11-5. This has fun for an 11er potential all over it. I'm going Boston College. Go Dudes.
Okay. Braden?
Not to be outdone, I think Colorado and Stanford 10-5. Just also very interesting as well.
One of my favorite sports of the year.
Yeah, I do think. First of all, I'm going to pick this game like rationale, logic, reason, defense. Boston College, yeah, get all that. Totally agree. But I think I'm going to go with raw sex appeal of the coaching staffs on this one. And I think that Maryland has a clear talent advantage with DJ Durkin and Walt Bell. They're extraordinarily good looking. I'm taking them over Boston College and Steve Adazio. Steve Adazio on the other end of the spectrum on this one. Carla can back me up on this.
That is
I
absolutely the right call.
I could not disagree harder. I'm sorry. Frank, the beautiful man.
David,
Hey,
what do you think?
To each their own.
I'm trying not to think of this game. I mean, it's your first bowl game between 2 Power 5 teams, and it's pretty horrific between 2 teams that. I mean, yeah, Carla said this was they're just happy to be here.
Mhm.
They went 1-15 against conference opponents last year. I guess Maryland's the pick. They've got a little bit of momentum, as far as a program. But yeah, this is like 10-7, written all over it. This is the Florida fans' maybe least favorite bowl. These 2 guys were coordinators at Florida in 2010.
Right.
Under Will Muschamp, Adazio on offense, Durkin on defense. So yeah, there's an interesting, not interesting coaching connection there.
I find it interesting.
I know it's very interesting. Jake, what do you think?
If you are a hater of the bowl season and think there are too many bowls, you are looking at this game and CNC. I told you so. And kind of have a point. But, like I said, like Carla said, these 2 teams are just happy to be here. So I'm going to say Maryland by a safety.
Maryland by safety? Okay.
13-11.
Okay, looking for a baseball score. That sounds good to me. I'm gonna pick Maryland on the basis of uniforms, because that seems to be as important as anything else. And a baseball score at 7-3, with 10-5, something in there. I think that's going to be the right way to go. Next up, AJ.
Can we deviate real quick and
Please.
take a real quick stop at the Camping World Independence Bowl between NC State and Vandy? State.
No, we can't.
So
beat
Florida
North
State and Ole
Carolina.
Miss took all of my Camping World. Florida State and Ole Miss took all the Camping World from me this week. I can't do it.
Fine. All I want to say is NC State beat a very good North Carolina team to go to Shreveport, and NC State fans will never let UNC fans live this down. I promise you that rivalry is way more fun than you think it is.
Oh, Shreveport. On December 27th, the Motel 6 Tom Bodett Will Leave the Light On For You Bowl, Cactus Bowl, which I think is in Phoenix, between Boise State and Baylor.
That is
AJ, Boise is favored by 8 points. Why on earth did you pick this game?
I picked this game because as a ardent lover of Pac-12 After Dark, this is the last game we're getting after 10 p.m. Let's get weird at 2 a.m. I want Boise's winning this game at on a blocked field goal that gets run back somehow for a touchdown.
We could do this. We could do this like triple
bet.
overtime and finish at 4 a.m. on the East Coast.
I mean, I'm not kidding. Last year's game was, I believe, West Virginia and Arizona State, where Skylar Howard threw for 570 yards. Let's get weird. This is the whole purpose of these games is 10 p.m. Nobody on the East Coast is watching. Dumb things are going to happen, and it's going to be amazing. Plus, it's sponsored by Motel 6 in Arizona, where bodies go to end. I mean,
well done.
Baylor is 6-6 entering this game. That 6 at the end is all in a row, all to finish the season. They beat Kansas 49-7 at the very, very end, or the middle of October, and since then they lost a squeaker to Texas and then lost by at least 20 points in every single game following that. Boise State lost on Wyoming safety dance, getting Wyoming into the Mountain West Championship. And they lost the last game of the season to Air Force. And Boise State's coming in with a lot to prove, making sure that they know that they can beat a Big 12 team that's on the ropes. Jim Groves, this is his last game as acting coach. Matt Rule comes in after the game. So, hey.
For how many years? Ohio University Bobcat head coach Jim Groves.
And former Temple head coach and Penn State beater and destroyer of Christian Hackenberg, Matt Rule. He's got his work cut out for him with Baylor, but as Jared Stidham transferred to – where did Jared Stidham transfer to? Auburn.
Did Auburn get him? Yeah.
Yeah, he just transferred to Auburn, so he's got I think he might get one more year as Seth Russell. But Jim Grove, this is his last game as step-uncle for Baylor. So I think Boise State wins, but I think Baylor puts up a hell of a fight.
Okay. Braden, what do you think?
This game's on a Tuesday, so while normally I would applaud you, AJ, for Pac-12 After Dark, because it does feel a lot like Pac-12 After Dark, and it's one of my favorite things about all of college football is Pac-12 After Dark. However, it's a Tuesday, and I have to get up at 4 a.m. the next morning. So I'm sort of like Sunday through Friday, I'm sort of like the Lubies. Is that the one that was in the mall that closed at 6 o'clock and all the old people went at 8 at 4:30? That is now my college football weekday habit. So I want everything to be starting at 11 a.m.
Okay.
And end at maybe 5. It gets dark at 4:45. So if we can get the games over before then, that'd be great. But then Friday and Saturday, I love Pac-12 After Dark.
Okay.
Yeah, I might actually stay up for this game. I might ruin a work day for this one.
Well, and
why? No reason. Not at all. Last year was on a Sunday night, and it went into it went to 2 in the morning. I stayed and watched the whole thing. Monday, the next day was rough, but it was awesome because it was 43-42 West Virginia.
Boise State is a fun team, and just they have a coach and they play together like a team full of players that play football. So I'm going to go with Boise State. Baylor is just an absolute train wreck. I think Matt Rule's a nice hire. I have no idea if the fit's going to work, but Baylor's a train wreck. Give me what do they care about the Motel 6 Cactus Bowl? Why are they going to play hard in that game?
Yeah, that's good. Carla, what do you think?
I like Boise also, but can we talk for just a moment about the irony of Motel 6 sponsoring the Cactus Bowl?
Sure.
Anyone else see the irony there in Motel 6 rooms are horrible and the Cactus sleeping on – never mind. That's That's why when I saw this bowl, I was like, oh my God, why would you sponsor the Cactus Bowl? Of all bowls, why would you pick the Cactus Bowl? Because talk about, proliferating a stereotype. There we go. Serve it up on a platter. But no, the Boise offense is fun. It's good to see them back in the national discussion. I mean, heck, 3 weeks ago we were talking about would they end up finished ranked higher than Western Michigan if they won the Mountain West. So it's great to have them back in the national discussion. Baylor's, like everybody else has said, Baylor's a train wreck. Broncos win. And yeah, I would like to stay up for this game too, but it's a Tuesday.
I mean, let's really also throw out there, Motel 6 usually requires you to make some sort of alternative sleeping arrangements. This game's being played in a baseball stadium, so it's the same thing.
I didn't realize that. That's great.
That's a good point. David, what do you think?
I'll take everybody's bad hotel or Motel 6 puns and bad Motel 6 jokes and one up them. If there's ever a bowl game that you want to pay for by the hour, I think this would be it. Because I don't know how competitive Baylor's going to be.
There's your winner. There's your winner right there.
This is a game that's either going to last 4 hours and you want to pay for every down, or it's going to be over by the first quarter.
You're not wrong.
I got it. No, I got it. You're good. I'm with you.
Do I need to explain it further?
No, you don't need to explain it. We get it.
Your wife is on the call.
My dear.
Legally, you have to like that joke, Carla.
I'm going blue.
You do. I think you do.
Blue over here.
Okay. Jake, that's a tough one to follow. What are your thoughts?
Really can't follow that, but so I'm not even going to try, even though I thought we were staying at a Motel 6, but it's like a Hotel 8 or something. So
yes, I'm the only one that's even the Motel 6.
I think that's official. That's even a step down from
Motel 6. Might be a
Motel 6.
days in. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But like everybody said, Baylor is a disaster right now. It's a little surprising that they're even going to a bowl game this year, I suppose, just in terms of sanctions and things like that. But Boise State, really, really good on both sides of the ball, especially offensively. And Brian Harsin has done a great job there in Boise, kind of keeping the train rolling from the Chris Peterson days, even before that. So I like Boise by more than 8, double digits.
Okay, that sounds good. And I'm gonna go with everybody else. Baylor, it's the season they've had, and on and off the field, there's just there's no way that they could even be interested in this game. They just want this season to be done with, and Boise's a solid team, and I think I'm off. If I'm off on Wednesday of that week, I will stay up and watch this one, but I got to check my schedule. Jake, we're going to stick with you on December 30th. I'm going to help the folks in Nashville with this because they came up with a nice long bowl title, but I think they could be improved by calling it the Franklin American Mortgage Grand Ole Opry Nashville Hot Chicken Hatch Show Prince Peg Leg Porker Music City Bowl. You
best watch your tones, sir.
That's all good stuff, though. I don't know the mortgage company, but we love all the other stuff that I mentioned in Nashville. This is Nebraska against Tennessee. Tennessee's favored by 3, and Carla and I spent a lot of time talking about Tennessee during the course of the season, and I think you really need to be a professional psychologist to pick Tennessee games. But Jake, we're going to let you give a crack at this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you. Tennessee probably needs a shrink, probably more than one person in that coaching staff when all that mess that's gone on for the last year and a half there. But this is actually kind of a fun game if it were 1998, but it is not. And so this is what we've got.
97, actually.
97, 98, whatever. You're older than me. You've got a better memory. Maybe you lost some of that memory here at Panama City.
I lost a lot of memory, Jake.
Fair enough. But it's kind of interesting because a lot of times when we talk about bowl games, we talk about teams that may or not care to be there. So the question I have is how excited is Tennessee going to be for this game? It's basically a home game in Nashville. They just lost the last time they were in Nashville against Vandy. Their coach is definitely on the hot seat, Butch Jones. And, the talent hasn't caught up to, I guess you would say, the coaching, I suppose, or the coaching hasn't caught up to the talent, I suppose. So, but one thing is for sure, the Cornhuskers and Volunteers are definitely going to drain Broadway this day before New Year's Eve. So, for those of us that live in Nashville, I think we will be avoiding Broadway for about 2 or 3 days.
Do you have a pick? Who's gonna win this one?
Nebraska by 3.
Nebraska by 3. Okay, AJ, you're up. What do you think?
Let's see. Which half of the game do you want me to talk about here? First half, Nebraska is going to be up by 10. Second half, somehow Tennessee storms back and wins on a field goal. The older brother from Home Alone. You're probably getting fired at the end of the season, but good job, Butch Jones.
Okay, nice work, Braden.
Nebraska by 113. It's not Tennessee. Nebraska's got some seniors that really want to play in their final game. Mike Riley, nicest guy in the world, but these are the kind of moments that he plays well. Nebraska has never played in the city of Nashville ever. I imagine the fan base will be pretty excited to be here, and Tennessee isn't really excited to walk into the office on a Monday. So I don't think people at Tennessee are going to – I mean, Dobbs and Barnett are the only two prayers they've got of anybody showing up and actually playing hard, and I don't think that's going to happen. So I think Nebraska big. Tommy Armstrong's going to score a boatload of points and have a field day with that defense. But Tennessee is the wildly more talented football team. It's not even close. So if they do show up, Tennessee wins like they did against the Iowa and Northwestern. They win 45-7. But the odds of that happening are pretty slim and none. So come on down to Broadway.
Okay, sounds good. Carla?
Let me throw this out there. Anybody want to take a stab at what Nebraska's record is?
9-3.
9-3.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
9-3. Bo Pelini lives on. Nebraska wins the game.
But he's a really nice guy. Bo Pelini's a jerk.
Happy September.
Nebraska will always be 9-3 or 10-3, and so Nebraska wins this game by default because they can't lose a fourth game.
Okay, that's just good
last
reason.
year. I think they did lose nine. They went 9-4 in Bo Pelini's last year. That 4 happened, and they said, "Yeah, get out, mean sir."
Here's the real question: which is the best football team that Nebraska beat this year? That's the real question.
Oh, I'd have to look at their schedule, and it's probably a bad idea, huh?
Yep, it's not pretty. Oh, who's got it the fastest? Come on.
I've got it on my phone right here because I was checking their record.
Do it,
They beat
do it. Go,
Fresno,
Carla.
Wyoming,
They beat Wyoming.
Oregon,
They beat Wyoming.
Northwestern,
Oh,
Illinois,
okay,
Indiana,
okay.
Purdue,
Beat Wyoming.
Minnesota, and Maryland.
Of that list,
Minnesota's probably the best team.
Minnesota or Indiana is probably would probably be the best. Would be the best on that list.
There you go.
Yikes.
Oregon was
Yikes.
ranked at the time.
One of these
That's true.
teams on that list was in the Mountain West Championship game, and the rest of them are not going to bowl games. Actually, I'm sorry, Minnesota's in a bowl.
I would take Minnesota over Wyoming, and in the worst uniform bowl ever.
How dare you, sir? Out of the river all day.
David, what do you think about this one?
I think I would tend to agree that this is a motivation kind of bowl game, and that all lies with Nebraska. Lots of seniors. They didn't have a great year, but they didn't have a terrible year. Nobody was talking about Nebraska as being a playoff contender or anything. They spent a couple weeks in the top 10. Whereas Tennessee has really had a disappointing season, and I'm sure they didn't think they were going to spend their New Year's in Nashville in the Music City Bowl. So I think all that motivation goes to Nebraska this year. As far as this bowl game, I mean, this is a bowl game that like Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, Mississippi State have played in not too long ago, and now we're talking about LSU and Notre Dame played a couple of years ago. Louisville and Texas A&M played last year, and now we're getting Tennessee and Nebraska. As far as like Chamber of Commerce in Nashville, I got to be happy that some of these middling power conference Big Ten and SEC teams are falling into our lap and helping pay some of our exorbitant sales tax.
It's actually it has been a good game. Given that 2/3 of our cast you guys live there, that would be a cool thing to.
There's a reason they're getting better bowl matchups. It's not on accident, and it's not going to change either. So,
is the hot chicken? Is that what?
Yes, actually, hot chicken is definitely part of it.
Okay.
It was the new system. When the new system went to tiers, Nashville went way up the list. They went from like 9th in the SEC to like 4th.
Okay.
It helps that Tennessee's
awesome.
not any good at football.
Just wait, Boxy. Just wait, buddy.
there is that.
I haven't gone yet.
My pick for this one it also would be Nebraska, and that leaves us with one more game. Braden, you kind of picked the game that we might consider to be like a marquee game. On January 2nd, the Bloomin' Onion Bowl in Tampa Florida versus Iowa. Florida. David's Gators are favored by 2.5 points. Braden, why'd you pick this one?
38-28 Fox. That's all I gotta say.
Is that yards? Is that yards?
No. I would. Yeah, I would rather. I think, to quote an old friend, I would rather bathe in sulfuric acid than watch Florida and Iowa play in a bowl game. I think I would crawl on my naked belly through broken glass before I had to watch a Florida or Iowa offensive football team play against another offensive football team in a bowl game. So 38-28 Fox. 11 years I've been waiting to say that.
Is that a reference to something? I'm confused.
So I'm not picking it. I'm not watching it. I don't care. It is the worst offensive matchup in the history of college football.
David, I feel like I need to go to you like right away just to get the counterpoint on this.
I'm not paying attention to this bowl game because it's a terrible game, and it's going to be boring. And now that I don't have to watch football for entertainment or for work, I can watch it for entertainment. So I will not be watching this game, if at all possible.
I was gonna say,
AJ, you're up.
Oh man, I saw it when they announced the list of like all the bowl matchups.
Yeah,
this game came up,
yeah.
And when this game came up, I went, "Oh God, why the Outback Bowl? Why?" And if you look at the list of games that are on January 2nd, it starts with this, and then goes to row the boat, Western Michigan versus Wisconsin. Then USC Penn State in the Rose Bowl, and then Auburn, Oklahoma. This is like when you like the middle band's little brother has a band, and they're like, you can open for us, I guess. And there's Florida, Iowa. This game is going to be trash. You should not watch this game.
Suck really bad. That band.
They're both bands are terrible here. You should not watch this game. This game is bad for your health. If you stayed up and watched the Motel 6 Cactus Bowl, you wouldn't have to watch this drivel. Please. Okay. Why is this game on national television? This is an ABC game too, which means people who don't have cable are going to see this. This is awful in every way possible.
I think ABC has every single game other than the Sun Bowl.
No, they don't. The ABC doesn't have very many games.
They're the same company. Settle down.
They don't have any. Honestly, look, one of us has an antenna in our house, and
well, that's a you problem.
Yeah, I know. There are only so many games that are on basic cable. I mean, it's a perfect, for the love of our senior citizens and cord cutters and the next generation of millennials who have to watch games on antennas, we're leaving them with this Outback Bowl, and all the good games are on ESPN.
You're not selling antennas to me, Foxy.
Listen, all I'm going to say, here's my pick. It's finally a game that people in Florida don't have to steal cable from their neighbor to watch. Go Iowa.
Okay. Carla, what do you think of?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, okay, so here's the deal. We're going to Florida for Christmas, and we talked about where Florida's bowl game was going to end up, whether or not we were going to stay for New Year's, and we saw this bowl matchup, and we both looked at each other and went, "Nah, I'll pass." So, that's what my thought is on this game. I guess I have to pick Iowa. I don't know. I said this all year through the show that I'm still not convinced that Florida has an offense. We never really saw it all year. It doesn't even matter whether.
What are you wavering on? What are you unsure about?
Whether either team will score in this game.
2-0.
2-0. Which game is lower scoring, the Quick Lane Bowl or the Outback Bowl? Right.
Neither. Go eat Death of the Universe.
Coin flip. Go Hawkeyes because I got to root for the conference.
There you go. Jake, what do you think?
I'm not sure if Iowa's any good. I'm not sure if Florida's any good. Obviously, we know there's no offense that's going to be in this game. It's going to be rather low scoring. But my shot, I think that Florida is going to go 2 years in a row of winning the SEC East, getting beat by Alabama, getting blown out by Florida State, and losing a bowl game.
Okay, there's consistency there, and that's the sort of thing that you look for. I'm going to pick Iowa as well.
Is there any way to like Photoshop the guy, the guy who has his head down, but he's got the Texas Tech fan who's got the guns up? Is there a way to do that, but with the gator arms somehow? Like some guy who's just collapsed down, he's got the gator hands open. Has that happened?
Kind of like something
like that. I think
something
so.
like that. We can work on that. We've got a couple.
Florida's
weeks.
gonna win.
We've got a couple weeks to work on that.
That sucks.
Guys, that is Bowlapalooza. That is your guide to semi-interesting bowl games before we get to the actual the consequential games on New Year's Day and the playoff. Thank you, everybody. AJ, Braden, David, Jake, and of course, Carla.
And cheers on season 5.
And cheers on season 5. And it's time to wrap it up because I saw Carla drain her glass of wine there. So
yeah, I'm empty.
Yeah, we got to be done. Thank you guys for watching all season, and thank you everybody for joining us. Come back a little bit after Christmas. Yep. Carl and I will be talking about the playoffs. Y'all have a great Christmas and a great bowl season. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, everyone.